Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy to be back again for another episode. Today I'm just here to talk about the things you need to consider or the things you need to learn when you move out, which is very, very important, which I wish somebody would teach me about this. And I'm just here to say it's been a crazy journey. I've been living alone for 2.5 years and I've learned so much stuff that I think I'll have to share here today. So first thing first, let's just dive into it. The first thing is you will start talking to yourself. This is like whether you like it or not, it will just happen naturally. First of all, when I started talking to myself, I thought I'm going crazy. So I started to sort of like try to tell myself, don't talk to yourself, don't talk to yourself. It sounds crazy. But I think with the time I couldn't control it and I got used to it. And then one time I visited one of my aunts and then I just realized she also talks to herself. Like I would literally hear her talk to herself in the bathroom. Then I'll be like, what are you saying? Then she'll say like, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to myself. And then I felt like, okay, so this thing is very normal. People talk to themselves. Like once you start living alone, for me, I feel like even talking to myself has been so great because through that is when I was able to identify what I'm good at, and that's when I started my YouTube channel, because I was like, if I spend time talking to myself in my own head and just literally verbally, how about starting something that will actually help me like build myself in a way, you know? So I started my YouTube channel because I realized I'm so good at talking and I talk to myself every day, even in my own head. So I started my YouTube channel. That is the first thing. Then the second thing, when you start to live alone, you will come to start understanding yourself, and it's a very big part, and I think it's very important for somebody to find time to just live alone and understand who they really are as a person. I think for me it was quite a struggle out here trying to identify what I'm good at, what I really want to do with my life and all those things. But the moment I started living alone, I realized there are so many things that I used to do that were not just me, like they weren't me. If I look back, I'm like, how could I do that? Like, that's not who I am as a person, because I realized I'm an indoor person. I realized I just like to sit down, watch movies, just be alone, read, you know. And I think when I was in college, it was quite hard to know that because I was always chasing after friends and finding out what they're doing. I want to do it with them, you know. It's part of growing, and I feel like we always try to identify. That's normal. But the more you focus on identifying with those people, you will never get to know who you really are as a person. So I think staying alone is very, very crucial, and it's very important that somebody gets to have this life where they live alone, try to understand what they want. You know, I think it's very important for me, and I feel like everyone should have that importance. It's very necessary. The third thing is you completely start to have trust in God. I don't know how this feels like. It's crazy, but for me, when I moved out fast, I thought I had everything all together. I thought I had money or I had a job. I had everything all together for me to just like put things through and go through life, and it's so smooth, and you know, and I feel like nothing really works out the way we want it to work out. Things just be so different. So for me, like my first job, I was very sure that everything is great, you know. We are doing this and we are moving out and everything is so amazing. And how I got my first job is just a miracle. I think I'm gonna talk about it soon, and I'll say it was sort of a manifestation that I was not very specific. I wasn't really sure like what I wanted in my life at that point, so I just said I wanted a job and I got it, and I never maintained it. I was with the job for only 2 months. After 2 months I had to start figuring out things, and let me tell you, this is crazy. I've worked for over 19 jobs. I've worked for over 19 jobs up to this point of my life. And I just feel like if there's something that I never knew is trusting in God. That is something that I never like had that complete trust. And it's something I have learned for over time, because it reaches a time where somebody fires you from the job. So you are just sitting in the house wondering what is next, what is next. And then something just comes up. Something just comes up, and then you are just like, how is that so? How is that so? And I think trusting in God has been a big part of living alone. I trusted in God before, but the more I live alone, the more I come to overcome the challenges, the more I just feel like things are crazy around me, the more I connect with God, the more I just find myself going back to God. And this is so amazing, you know. this makes sense, but this is the fourth point. For me, I feel like when I started living alone, I started to sort of like be empathetic, especially when it comes to our parents. I started to sort of understand them, like, you know, like I was like, oh, these people are really struggling. I couldn't see. And I feel like we cannot really see what people are going through until we go through the same things. So for me, I think I was actually in between. I wasn't like ungrateful. I wasn't like that best person when it came to my parents. I was just a middle person, you know, and I was always sort of trying to understand, but I really didn't understand, you know. So the moment I started to stay alone, when I started to pay my own bills, start to manage myself, start to do things for myself, that is when I realized that I never took time to understand what my parents were going through or what they are just having in general, like, you know. And I feel like that is a very big part of growth. When you start to understand people, it's just a lot, like, you know. So I think when I started to stay alone, I started to understand that our parents were really struggling. They were trying, and we were just supposed to give them the grace to do things the way they could, because they cannot control things just the way we can't, you know. That's just something that takes you time to understand, and it's okay to take time to understand people. And once you understand, just live with that, like just live by it. It's very, very essential. Especially to me, it's very important. The fifth one is, I think, something that I wish I learned earlier, like starting to save money before you move out. That is very important. And for me, I feel like I didn't really have a lot of money saved. I saved a little money, but I didn't have like a lot of money. Like if somebody like would tell me like you need to save money, you need to do something to prepare yourself or buy the things that you start with life. For example, in my case, if I was to start by buying things, maybe I will buy a mattress and maybe just a bed or those basic things that you need before you move out. So by the time you move out, you only have the most essential, which is the rent and the deposit, and maybe just buying a simple little things. But for me, no one told me, so I had to figure that on my own. So I'll appreciate if you consider saving money or maybe buying those things in advance. That's very important. It will really help you to remove the baggages, so when you reach that point, things are just like easier, you know. I don't know, quite easier. Something else I actually learned is cleaning helps to enhance your mood. I was quite skeptical about this whole idea. Like I was a lazy girl, you know, like lazy, 100% lazy. Like even if you ask anyone who knows me from back then, they will know I was quite a lazy person. So I think moving out was quite a chance for me to grow, to start to arrange my things, start to try to decorate a house, try to do the new things that I was actually admiring. And I think cleaning is a big part of this, and I can testify right now that the moment you clean, you feel very different. You do, especially a thorough cleaning. Like the moment I usually wake up from bed, clean and do everything, I just feel very different. But when the days when I don't feel like cleaning, I just sleep. Those days I feel so bad. So point is clean. Always make sure you clean all the time. It helps with your mood. When your environment is clean, your mind is more clearer. Like you just feel like you understand things better. You know what to do. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about cleaning that is crazy, that nowadays I always make sure if I'm feeling bad about myself, I just clean. Simple. Another thing, this is very, very important, budgeting. I wish somebody taught me how to budget earlier enough. I wish somebody told me you should sit down, arrange that, whatever. But this is the most important. Once you get your money or your whatever you wear, the place you get the money from, pay your bills first. That is very, very important. One time it happened to me. This is a story I'm going to tell you. I was paid, so I was supposed to pay my bills first and all that. But somebody called me to go somewhere and have a good time and all that. We spent time. So I found myself using almost half of the money. I didn't pay my rent that time. It was quite crazy. And I think from there I learned my lesson. Nowadays, the first thing I usually do is pay my bills. That is the most important thing. And then don't forget to buy for your present every single time you pay your bills, because you're working so hard. You need to buy yourself something, you know. Just make sure you do something like that. There's another one, goal setting. Set your goals, right? Set smart goals. They're very specific. measurable, time bound, like something that is easy, you know. Like for example, for me, I think buying most of the things in this house that I have here, I had plans. I planned, you know, I had plans. I planned this month I'm going to buy a mattress. The next month I'm going to buy a duvet. The next month I'm going to buy a bed. The next month I'm going to buy a fridge. You know, it's just like things you plan. Maybe it takes time. For me, I think some of the things took time, like fridge. My fridge took time. It took like a whole year to get one. And my bed, this one is a new bed. I had another bed before that I started life with, which will drive us to our next point. Our next point will be about buying something that is long lasting, buying something that is durable, buying something that will last you longer than you think, at least a year or two. So for me, when I started life at a scarcity point of view. I started life at a point where I'm just like, let me buy it, I'll have it. The point is not to have it, the point is to keep it for long, at least to have it for a moment, then buy something else later. I'm not saying you buy something, you stick to it forever, because it's also boring to have something for quite a long time. But if you buy something that you know this is going to stay for a while, like it's going to be durable, the material is good, everything is quite amazing, so buy something you need to think of. So I think after I started my life again in this year 2024 in April, I think from there is when I started to have long-term goals. I started to prioritize long-term situations, like if I'm buying something I need to buy it to stay for long. So that's when I started again. I sold my other things. I started to buy a new bed. I started to buy things again. Like, you know, that's a lot of work. And I feel like you shouldn't go through this. You need to just buy something nice, you know, something durable for a long time. That's amazing. And you will not even go back again to be buying and buying. It will be better because you'll be focusing on things that you do not have, or maybe the things you need to grow as a person. I don't know. Another thing also, you need to make sure you have painkillers. This is very, very essential, especially to me. I was first diagnosed with ulcer in 2016, so I usually have it, but I always put it at the back of my mind and forget about it forever. And this is what happened to me one night. I just was asleep for some few hours. Then I woke up with a very strong pain in my tummy, and my ulcers was kicking in. Things were going crazy. I didn't have any painkillers. I didn't know who I should call. I didn't know, it's very, very essential to have painkillers. And I think from that day I learned so much, because in the middle of the night there's no one who's going to come and help you. Somebody came to help me, but in the morning. And I think you need painkillers. You need painkillers all the time in your house. That is very important. For me, I think from that incident I learned, and I started to buy painkillers. I started to have them in my house just in case. Even if I have somebody coming over and they're having some sort of pain. I even have spirit. I even have bandages. I'm crazy. That's a lie. I only have spirit and the basics, the basic medications, the Panadol, paracetamol, whatever. But I don't have the sort of huge medicine, those expensive ones. But I have spirit. In case you're sick and you're at my place and you have a wound, I'll clean it. So I'm always thinking I need to put myself in a position where I'm able to handle life, because life is already tough. So I can make things easy or make it worse. Another thing as well, you need to decorate your space. Decorate your small little space, like mine here. I usually try. It's not what I want to be, but it's better than what it was before. So I try to decorate my space so that when I'm seated here, I'm just feeling like I'm in a very beautiful space. And I think that is also essential, because that is very important, because that is part of being grateful. That is part of showing the universe, or showing God, or showing yourself just how much you are grateful for, and just how much you enjoy being in your space. Because the more beautiful your space looks, the more you just want to come back home and enjoy your space, and stuff like that. And I feel like it's very important to decorate your space. You need to decorate your space. Just do anything you can for yourself, because we don't have to approve it. Nobody has to approve it. For me, I always do things that make me happy. I don't want to know who is not happy, because I'm happy. That's enough. This is my space. Even if you come to my space and tell me you don't like my small stickers, I don't care. So many people have told me that, but I do not care. I'm not going to remove them anytime from now, because I'm the one who knows why I put them there. Because they guide me every single day. When I read them, I'm like, we are on track. We are not leaving this journey. We are still going on, and we are not stopping at any point. So just make sure you have something decorative. I don't know, anything that feels like decoration to you, because decoration is quite anonymous and we cannot really have a specific definition because everybody is different. So just make sure you have something that makes sense to you. I really hope you enjoyed my video, and if you have suggestions of the things you think you've learned since you started living alone, comment down below. And I really hope that you do enjoy this video, like you really had like the best of whatever, and just reply down there. If it's not something you think you enjoyed, also tell me. If it's something you enjoyed, of course, also comment there. Thank you for watching my video, and hopefully we are making 20,000 more videos again. Bye bye.